how did Sundance notify you that c.o.g had been accepted?
I got a call, but I made the film. We were, I think Trevor said this when he introduced the film publicly, that I think we were the only movie no movie has ever wrapped shooting in November and played the festival in January. So we had a really fast post-production process. I'm my own editor. I run post on my movie, so I was able to pull it off, but it was one of those things where we submitted a rough cut and I didn't have to wait that long because they were having to lock their schedule. I was just lucky they even were able to watch it still, because they were still watching a handful of straggling films that were coming in, and I was able to get a rough version of my movie in. So I didn't have to wait. I had to wait less than a week, but still, when I got the call, it was where it felt really good was that not knowing what it felt like to not get in, which hit me too hard the first time, that this time around I told myself, I was like, I'm just submitting because I put the film, I knew I wasn't going to sit in the film for a year. I knew I'd try other festivals. When we were shooting the film, I didn't even think we were going to get a chance to even play Sundance because I just didn't think the timing would work out. And so for me, when I found out that there would still be enough time for me to put a rough edit together for them to screen, I thought, I'm submitting for myself. I'm not submitting for even the movie. I'm just submitting to know I did my best in the time I had. I didn't sleep for a week and I got an edit together, that kind of thing. I did my best in that time. So at the end of the day, I couldn't feel like, well, maybe, what if, that feeling, I wouldn't regret not trying for it. So ultimately submitting the movie for me, it felt more cathartic. And I was expecting to not get in a lot of ways. So getting in felt really good, and the call came from Trevor, who, he kind of saved my first film. All the festivals, all the major festivals had passed on it, and he was running Cinevegas at the same time he was running Sundance, and so he had seen it at Sundance because they had really considered it. And one of the strangest moments for me in talking about Sundance was when John Cooper introduced the premiere of c.o.g. He talked about how it still haunted him to not program Me Zero Practice, which was like really humbling and really nice to hear in a lot of ways, to know that they really did, consider it. And mine was one of those, like we were talking about before, mine was a totally blind submission. I didn't know anyone in the festival world at all in my first film. So to hear it got that close is really overwhelming. And so getting the call from Trevor, who's been one of the most supportive people to me, it just meant a lot. It had like the weight of like years on it. It sort of had the weight of no one wanting this film to get made. It's in some strange way, you don't want to look to the festival to give you validation, but the one thing it does nice, it doesn't give you personal validation, it gives validation to everyone else. For everyone else, it's a shorthand. It's kind of like the same way the Spirit Awards was. It's like, for me, like winning awards and stuff, it doesn't really mean anything to me personally, but what it means is something for the movie, and it means something for like my ability to keep on making movies, because it's shorthand for people. So people are like, well, I didn't really like it that much, but it played Sundance, so there must be something great and good about it. People use it as like a litmus test, for better or worse. It's one of the advantages of it. So for me, it felt really good. I mean, it was really, and also like I was at the very tail end of working every day, because it was like we were financed in August, we prepped in September, we shot in October and part of November, I cut it in November, we found out we got in late November. It was one of those things where it was like I didn't sleep, and then it was like I had to cut, then I had like less than a month to lock picture, and then post, and then 2 days later we premiered the movie. So it was literally one long stream of like 4 months of just nonstop work every day of the week. So it was sort of a culmination of that, and all of that sort of apexed with me getting the sickest I've been maybe in my entire life, if not at least a decade, when in Sundance, because I think my body just like shut down from all the hard work. But it was really, I mean, it was a great feeling, and it was really nice to have their support. It was.